Cultural wrestling food. Them know how to fall and say that.
Yeah, exactly.
One problem is one and a single disconnect. Disconnecting from. I put mine ears too.
One, two, three, right?
When I get me for the house, check in.
I had to select on the computer now.
The dinosaurs and the cargo.
I know we used to get some problem with it. You shake hard.
Bismillah.
Yeah, it needed that.
He has some computer going on. The door.
So we put that on the purchase of the only any kind of zany book, you know what they and they think was look at the glue it, they said this and the glue it, and something Alhamdulillah, that's okay. So, alright, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulil kareem, ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. We're going to be fitna, and what caused it that's a Rahman, we didn't touch on it last week. But I felt that we should just review it this week quickly, so we go on to the next thing, which is very important, which is our reoccurring theme. Right? Our reoccurring theme in terms of the methodology of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah in dealing with the leaders of the Muslims. Because we see it in Islamic history, certain things are reoccurring, and it doesn't end up having a good result afterwards. Alright, so we begin on the fitna, as we said, Uthman ibn Affan was some of his family in pivotal positions over some of the first prophets of the Prophet's companion to be about home. For example, he removed Sa'd from Kufa and put Walid ibn Uqba and Abi Mu'ayt, who was Uthman's brother from his mother's side. He also removed Amr ibn As from Egypt and put Abdullah ibn Sa'd ibn Abi Sa'd. Now, there was a lot of controversy with him in particular, and you will see from Egypt is where the tension to kill Uthman really came from. He was therefore prisoned in nepotism as a son, and we must respect regarding corruption. This is a summary of what we want to see afterwards, right? There was also Abdullah ibn Saba, who was a Yemeni Jew, who spread these rumors and exposed the beliefs in Egypt. Now, he became a Muslim nifaq, as it is clarified, out of nifaq to hypocrisy. And from what he did spread was that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would return to the dunya, and that since the Prophet was the last of the messengers, Ali would be the one who was deserving of the Khilafah, and that Uthman was deserving of his position. So he started his spread. In fact, his followers who ended up killing Uthman, they were called Salahiyya. So they displayed that they were commanding people and forbidding their evil, and many Egyptians fell into their trap. They were also the common people of Basra and Kufa, which were those of Iraq, which led to sowing the seeds of dissension, which eventually led to the murder of Uthman ibn Affan. Okay, so we're going to continue. Now, this is very important before I actually move on now, in terms of the methodology of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah regarding the rulers, because what happens is that this story kind of falls exactly in this type of purview. And this is why these scholars, not on modern times, but on old times, they had certain Abu Hanifa, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Shafi'i, Malik, and whoever as Imam Bukhari, Muslim, etc., they basically have the same type of modus operandi. They have the same type of operation in terms of how they operate with the rulers of the Muslims. So the methodology of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, even those who are upon what the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and his companions were upon the Allah anhu, regarding the Muslim rulers is as follows. Number one, obedience to Muslim rulers, whether they are righteous or wicked. Not obedience in the wickedness. As a different thing. It is haram to obey in the wickedness. So if a ruler say, I'm going to kill you, run. That's not better. Run. If he says, I want to take your wife, hide your wife. Because that is obedience and what? Good or bad? Obviously. But in terms of that which is good, the Muslim rulers are obeying whether they are righteous or they are wicked. Right? And you'll find that people so happy so over Jama'ah that getting that Torah to Buddha to the Muslimin, Babylon can or Fajr or Fujara, whether they are righteous or wicked. And we will see we are hearing things of some rulers who were extremely wicked or extremely, sinful, and they ended up opening the way for the Muslims to even conquer lands. You have the example of one of them, and we'll go through them inshallah when we reach the Crusades. One of them, he conquered Halab. He conquered Halab. And once he conquered Halab, Aleppo, you wait to Palestine and you wait to Damascus and take it just like a free. Seriously, just like a free. It can basically, within years, it will take these places. After this ruler conquered Aleppo, he wanted a drinking spree. And he drank himself to death. By the period. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose it to conquer Aleppo. But everybody can get that drinking from him. And he wanted a drinking spree and died of drunkenness. Yeah, that. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the ending. But although he was a wicked ruler, because the people had patience with him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him a means by which the Muslims were able to take back their territories from the Crusaders and end up conquering Palestine. He was a predecessor to Saddam. Right? Next thing, refraining from openly castigating and revolting against them, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if it is a conceit from your army or something, فَلَا تُبْلِي بِعَلَانِيَةً, and this is in Bukhari, do not expose him publicly. Right? Openly castigate him. Not if you're in front of him that you don't castigate him. Castigate him in front of him. That's what's a problem. And you will see this from the same story of Nabi Abu Ta'ala and who. When it is a certain Sahaba saw what was going on, they went to Rahman himself and they castigated him, although they were there to him. But they don't openly castigate him to the public, as you will see what Abdullah and Sabah and others did. And we voted against them. That is totally haram. And that's from Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Advising them to that which Allah loves and is pleased with, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His advice. لله ولرسوله ولأئمة المسلمين وعامتهم. To Allah, the Rasul, and to the Imams of the Muslims and the regular people. Number 4, making dua for their righteousness. For that, they asked about who should make dua to. He said, make dua for the rulers. He said, why? If it is that they are righteous, the people will be righteous. But if they are wicked, wickedness will not be done. And he said that, وَلَوْ كَانَتْ لِي دَعْوَةٌ مُسْتَجَابَةٌ لَجَعَلْتُهُ فِي السُّلْطَةِ. If it was that I had a dua that would be answered, I would have made that dua for the sultan. Why? Because if you become righteous, alhamdulillah. Right? Number 5, neither hearing nor obeying them when they order sin and transgression. So if they order sin or transgression, it is haram to obey them and not to bring up their sins. Right? You find some people online who, they say, well, possibly that so-and-so country, they're doing this in order to boost up the economy and get more powerful. No, you have to listen. It doesn't matter. Al-Fujur, Al-Ma'si. Right? They scholars themselves, they speak against somebody says going on in jail under haram, they speak against it. Right? Sheikh, the next Sheikh Marwa, the next Sheikh Sohaimi. Many of them speak against the system going on there. Right? But however, they go and advise the ruler himself face to face. Right? But however, we don't approve of their sins and we don't, what we say, decorate it to the people. regulations and you obey them, it's in a transgression. Right? And so no one they have a middle way, because if you openly castigate and revolt against them, what happens is that, as you will see with man or the other rulers, it creates a power vacuum, and the enemies of Islam come in and they make real trouble. And especially in this day and age, the enemies of Islam could more than play the fool. Could jump into your country and do whatever they want, even however they want, and whatnot like that. So you have to be very, very careful about these things. Right. But I'll mention this because this is something very important for us to reflect upon. And number two, there's a recurring theme in Islamic history. Whenever there was a revolt against a Muslim ruler, it never worked out. Never worked out. And it always caused more problems for the Muslims than good. And as Ahmad said, that basically first bill, right, you know, how to say, have patience until you get rest from a Fajr, because he wanted them. So have patience until if he realizes that Fajr is a sinner, he's like, look this. Have patience, and he wanted them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring somebody else. Because if you vote against him, what will happen is more problems. Now this is the thing about ruler is a Muslim. But if the ruler is like Bashar al-Assad, who's a Kafir, Husayri, believes that Ali is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's a different thing. Once it is that the Muslims have the ability and the resources to remove them without causing any bloodshed, then they could do so. And that's not a problem. But if they don't have the ability and the resources, then it is haram to revolt against them publicly. This is exactly what happened in Syria. The Muslims didn't have the ability or the resources to really deal with them. And the fact that, mashallah, the Syrian resistance, as they are moving now, inshallah ta'ala, hope that the ones now are sincere. The Syrian resistance was making movements against Assad, they were very successful. And then ISIS come and take everything that the Syrian resistance did. They took all that territory. Because they pronounced all the people of the other Syrian resistance groups, they pronounced them all as kuffar. All. I had their magazines, I was reading through their magazines. Like, I like about 16 or 17 of their magazines on a flash drive. Unfortunately, my daughter broke the flash drive, so I can't get it back, but I went to the internet the other day, and I can't find back their magazines. But that's it, it was called Dabbing. I went through all their magazines. ISIS are the biggest bunch of they're the biggest bunch of liars I've ever seen in my whole life. Because they will quote Ibn Taymiyyah, and they will bring you reference. So I'm like, okay, right up the reference. They even made Takfir and threatened to kill without Phillips. Yeah. They call him a kafir, and they say that he should be killed. They said they made Takfir of Pierre Boga. Pierre Boga is a Muslim who gives dawah. Any Muslim who famous for giving dawah, they say that they are kuffar, they should be killed, because they say that Islam is peace, and that they could rob a grocery store and kill the people in the grocery store, and whatever they think is Bahima, forevermore. I have all the magazines. Yes, people, crazy people. And they were taking part in it. And Trinidad, unfortunately, Trinidad was the Western country that had the most people per capita, not most people as a population. We had the most people per capita in the Western world in ISIS. That's crazy. Though I some of them was like, but how this world that produce such crazy people? Shane, this one coming and saying, yes, I could not practice in Nigeria. I said, yes, I could. And I don't know who you are. Brothers who don't know, right? That I know that personally, and I don't think that what kind of relationship I have with that person, right? Come to Nigeria, and I said, I could not practice like you in Trinidad. I said, you're not Trinidad, you're not accent in Trinidad, you're not your accent for the one Syria. Come on. Right? You know, I think, I'm good with that. So, this is what happens. You know, because they didn't have the necessary manpower and they didn't know how it is that things very internationally with the power plays and what, and especially now it's even more risky to do these things. Yeah, tell you. So let us ready to go on Syria, let us go forward with what's better. So the killing of the murder. So Abdullah ibn Saba and those who spent a minimum throughout the lives of the Muslims. So as I was mentioning last week, he was going about saying that Ali is supposed to be true ruler, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is going to come back on earth. And doing as well, he was writing the people of Basra and Kufa. And he was going there as well. So they were going all over the place. So he would go in Basra and say, hey, you hear what's going on in Egypt? Pressure, problems, this, that, was man oppressive, and tell you. But you seem very good here. That he would go to Kufa, 80 people in Basra suffering. This, yeah, mastermind. And then he would go back in Cairo, the people of Kufa suffering. So he would, these different regions of the Muslims, he would make sure and bring the people against Uthman radiallahu ta'ala. Now, unlike Umar radiallahu ta'ala, who was very strict, Uthman was very much more lenient and much more quiet and much more tolerant. Okay? So what happened is that a lot of people, they kind of took advantage of that man. Okay? So groups of them went to Medina the first time, so they went to Medina twice. So they had a group from Basra, from Kufa, and from Egypt. Big groups, right? And Abdullah ibn Saba was the leader of the group. The Prophet didn't know who he was. And he comes to the group and the man says, okay, fine, okay? So they come with a list of complaints. Number one, people don't give a sorry. I mean, we were speaking about that last week. When you are in Arafat, and Muzdalifah, you pray 2 rak'ah basically, right? That is the sunnah. Now he prayed 4 rak'ah for Zuhur and 4 rak'ah for Asr. And I'll explain what happened here, inshallah. Number 3, he replaced the Sahaba with new regions. He keep out the Sahaba with the Sahaba. Number 4, he put his own people, his own family in these positions, Banu Umayyah. And as I said, that Banu Umayyah will feature after the Khulafa of Rashidin, after Ali, Banu Umayyah will come from Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala. So, Ali radiallahu ta'ala and who came out and clarified this the crowd. They done that, but not make it even more mischief. So what happened? Ali radiallahu ta'ala, who said, well, he will be other masahib, but we are agreeing upon what was last revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Remember we were speaking about the Ummatul Akhirah. The last time when it is that Jibril alayhi salam was revising the Quran, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as a result we have to do something happening. Right. So basically he said that the Ummatul Akhirah is what we agree upon because of the fact that this is the last thing that was said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Number 2. Now, what happened is that Uthman ibn Affan, his intention was to stay in Makkah, stay in the precincts in Makkah. So as a result, he prayed 4 rak'ah Dhuhr and 4 rak'ah Asr when he was on the day of Arafah. The third thing is that he showed that Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam put Osama ibn Zayd in a leadership position after he died. Osama ibn Zayd was 17 years old when he left a judge of our army.